So I've just finished year 13 and I've also just received all of my university decisions. And in this video, I'll be talking about where I applied to, my acceptances and rejections, my offers, what I think I did well, and what I wish I did differently if I were to apply again. And just to give you a bit of context, for all these universities, I applied for the same subject, and that subject is economics. Also, these were all 3-year courses. And just to give you a brief insight into my application, at GCSE, I achieved 12 grade 9s. In AS, I got an A in further maths. My predicted grades were 4 A stars in the subjects maths, further maths, physics, and economics. And of course, there was also my personal statement. As a little side note, if you would like me to break down and go over my personal statement, leave a comment down below and I'll do it in a future video. Now looking into where I applied to. So you may or may not know, but in the UK, you can apply to up to 5 universities. And for me, those universities were Bath, Bristol, Cambridge, specifically King's College, Cambridge, LSE and Warwick. Okay, now let's talk about my acceptances and rejections. So out of the 5 universities that I applied to, I had 4 acceptances and 1 rejection, which on the whole I am pretty happy with. It was a little bit annoying though because the 1 rejection was the final decision to come through, so I thought I was on for a clean sweep. So I got accepted by Bath, Bristol, Cambridge and Warwick, and I got rejected by LSE. And this is what LSE had to say about why they rejected me. So they said, the assessors felt there were strengths to your application. However, admission to LSE is highly competitive and the quality of applications received this year has been high. As a result, many well-qualified candidates have been unsuccessful in their application. They then went on to say, the feedback we have received from the admissions selector indicates that your application was unsuccessful as a consequence of the exceptional standard of other applicants this year. And then they finally said, LSE receives a large number of applications per place and admission to the school is highly competitive. All the information on your application has been considered holistically, and although overall your application was good, it was not as strong as other similar applicants who have applied this year. Basically the reason was my application was good, but not good enough, essentially. So now let's talk about my offers. So for the other 4 universities that accepted me, this is what their offers were. So the first offer I received was from Bristol on the 3rd of November 2021. And they asked for GCE A-level grades, A-star AA, including mathematics. And by looking at their website, this seemed to be their standard offer they gave out for economics. Also, it was quite nice that they only asked for 3 grades, because this essentially meant that I could just fail one of my A-levels, as long as it wasn't maths, and I'd still get a place. And then the next offer I received was from Cambridge on the 25th of January 2022. And they asked for GCE A-level grade, A-star in mathematics, and A-star in further mathematics, and then an A in either physics or economics. Also on their email, it said I had to pass the other one, so that meant at least getting an E in physics or economics, whichever one I don't get the A in. Again, this seemed to be the standard offer, and although it does seem tough, the subjects which I'm most confident in are maths and further maths, so I was pretty happy that those were the subjects that they asked for the A stars in. And then 2 days later, on the 27th of January 2022, I got an offer from Bath, where they said this. This offer is subject to you attaining A-star AA in 3 A-levels, including mathematics, or AAAB, including mathematics and further mathematics, with an A in mathematics. Again, a pretty standard offer, but I thought it was quite nice that they gave me 2 options. And then finally, on the 5th of April 2022, I received my final offer, which was from Warwick. And they had a very lengthy offer, which said a lot of things. Essentially, they said I must achieve grades A-star, A-star, A at A-level in 3 subjects, including maths. They then went on to say this offer excludes general studies and critical thinking. They then said if your science A-levels include a practical skills test, you must achieve a pass in each. And finally, that this offer is also conditional on official verification of your GCSE English language. And I can't lie, I was slightly confused about why they wrote so much on this offer. So first, I don't really know why they said this offer excludes general studies and critical thinking when they literally have the A-levels that I take, so they know I don't take either of those subjects. And then when they said if your science A-levels include a practical skills test, you must achieve a pass in each of them, which I guess is fair enough, but it seems pretty unfair if someone's achieved 2 A stars and an A with probably really hard A-levels, so much so that they've got these grades, but they don't get in to study economics because they didn't get a pass in the practical skills test. I mean, I guess most people do get a pass, and if you're getting a good grade in science, you're going to get a pass, but it seemed like a bit of a weird thing to put in there. And the one that confused me the most was why they asked for official verification of my GCSE English language. Firstly, I'm really unsure why they asked for official verification of just one GCSE. Secondly, why GCSE English language? Like, this offer is A-star, A-star, A, which is a pretty high offer. If someone's achieving 2 A stars and an A in their A-levels, Surely they're good enough to go and study economics at Warwick, even if they don't have an official verification of their GCSE English language. There seems to be so many more important GCSEs for studying economics, like maths, any of the sciences, even English literature. I would argue is more applicable for studying economics than English language. So yeah, I don't really get that, but moving on, I put Cambridge down as my first choice and Bristol as my insurance choice. So I put Cambridge as my first choice because that was going to be my first choice anyway, that was the one I really wanted to go to. And this was kind of the thought process I went through when picking Bristol as my insurance. So I don't really see any point of picking Warwick as my insurance, as they asked for A*, which was essentially the same thing Cambridge was asking for. So if I didn't get the grades to get into Cambridge, it's very unlikely that I'd get the grades to go to Warwick. And then basically it was a toss-up between Bath and Bristol, and I actually did go and look around these, not for open days, just to look around the cities a bit later on. And I must say, I did prefer Bristol as a city, as a place to live, a place to study, compared to Bath. That's why I put Bristol as my insurance. So now looking at what I did well as part of my university applications. So the first thing that I think I did a good job on, that I did well on in terms of my application, was my grades. So not only the grades I achieved in AS and GCSEs, but also predicted grades. I was happy that I didn't have to stress too much about this. I got the 4 A-stars by the end of year 12, which just looks good for universities. And the second thing which I think I did well was my choice of universities. So to be totally honest, I didn't put that much time into choosing my universities. There were a couple like Cambridge and Bristol which I was pretty set on, but the others I kind of just went based on where they were in relation to where I live, and also how good they were in terms of a university as a whole on league tables, and also for economics. Okay, now what I wish I had done differently. So the first big thing which I wish I did differently was start a lot earlier for my application. It just relieves stress because I can't lie, I was kind of rushed in terms of which unis to apply to. My personal statement wasn't rushed, but I was under some time constraint, and it would have been beneficial to have a little bit more time to just relieve some stress. Also, something I didn't know before is that your college or school or institution has to check your UCAS application before it's sent off. And the deadline for submitting it to your school, college, institution, wherever it is before the official deadline of the universities you're applying to. Another thing I wish I did differently was visit more unis or go to more uni open days. So I actually didn't go to a single in-person uni open day, which I kind of regret now because I think open days are a really good way to get a vibe of the place you're going to. And then the final thing I wish I did differently was get more feedback on my personal statement. So as I said, the only uni I got rejected from was LSE. And looking at this now, I think it must have been solely on my personal statement because my grades were basically maxed out at this point. So I did ask economics teachers at my college to look over it, check it, tell me anything to add. But they literally all said that they wouldn't add anything. So I'm a bit confused about this, but maybe I should have asked more people, asked more economics teachers, maybe had a contact at a university. That may have been a better place to ask about my personal statement. Anyway, that concludes this video about my review of my university applications. I hope you found this video helpful or interesting in some way. If you have any questions or queries or video suggestions, please leave them down below in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.